I think that I should already been able to notice what he's up to. Okay, let's build another one of these here. Orbital commands, so things would work out a little bit better. Then I would like to build cyclones here, however I just don't have the money to do that, unfortunately. Furthermore, I'm going to move these aside. Okay, and build even more troops. Now it's time to go on with the medevac so that we could initiate our offensive. However, I don't have gas for any more medevacs that I currently am working with here. However, that's fine. Now, in order for me to reach 200 supply, I'll be building myself more supply depots. Okay, and we'll be moving out now. Okay, let's go, and obviously 2 medevacs is not nearly enough, but it's something. So we'll be descending from the right side out there, and hopefully that is going to be exactly what we need here. So as you can see, my opponent is expanding quite heavily here on all sides, but having a massive engagement over here. Whoa, I certainly need a lot more medevacs where that came from. Alright, let's just keep on building units, large number of units. This hatchery here should be wiped out too. Furthermore, I'm building troops, and we'll be going on against them sooner. Okay, I'm going to attack into his base here. Okay, all of my production everywhere is working just fine. Let's keep on going inside of his main base here, and let's start blasting everything here. Okay, as you can see, he has a lot more bases all over the place here, and it's fine. I'm just going to send more troops all over. I'm going to stim even further. Let's get rid of his ability to fight us here. Okay. These guys need to move up forward. As unsurprisingly, he lacked resources over there. Now we know that he is going to watch this, and as always, let's go through everything we've been through together and through what he has been through while watching the replay itself. So that's the resources. As you can see, the resources were almost exact, so that was just beautiful right here. I had more units than he did, more structures, surprisingly, and he had more technology than I did. So that's the unit count. The units trained have been almost once again exactly the same as the resources previously were, and I killed more units than he did. That's his build order right here. And that's the graph. So that's armor value. This was probably where we met in the middle. It kind of gone down, then he went with air units, and so it spiked up quite a bit. Surprisingly, the resource collection most of the time has nearly stayed the same, and that's due to the fact that he has quite intensively expanded through continuously. As we have noticed, in the north he had all the bases taken. He even expanded himself in the middle itself. Upgrade spending, workers active. So as you can see, he had quite a bit of workers most of the time. Now it's time to find out what exactly happened on his side of the battlefield and how did he bear with the fight out here. So let's move on with this. Now he goes with a few overlords. First of all, checking things out. He's going to spy, and he's moving on with, as always, very quick hatchery. And this is where he was sending his worker, which initiated this buildup. I've sent all of the CVs that I could find to quickly get rid of it, because he would just simply spawn lings inside of my base. Now so far so good. That's the second probe, not the worker, but these are called drones, and that's that. I later noticed that he's observing me with this overlord here, and he was actually observing me on a couple of sides, but he doesn't really see much so far. But there was a few things to already notice, as you can see. Now he is on his second base here. He has a good defense here. He would just simply blow up my marines, or would try to blow up my marines with banelings, and more or less expanding, creating a baneling nest. So that's where the banelings came from, a roach warren, so his army could have a lot of roaches. And then he moves on to the third base. Similarly as I moved to the third base myself. And this is where I'm hunting down his overlord. There's still one overlord that I'm not aware of. And now the third base is yet to be completed. He's spreading creep, so that's one of the interesting things about Zerg, is that Zerg builds tumors like these. These tumors, just like that, they spread, and they spread creep. Now, as you can see on the minimap right here, is the Zerg player is able to see the map clearly without a fog of war where is enemy units out there. Now we know that he has 3 bases, and he's spreading creep into the middle, waiting, expanding. Surprisingly, he's not building that many troops, so similarly as he's building up. I could have even attacked him right now and probably would have taken out one of his hatcheries, but he would undoubtedly be expanding, building more. Now you see what surprises me here is that he's suddenly building his 4th hatchery. So he's kind of using all this Zerg can do, which is expand very quickly and relatively cheaply, and then use these expansions to consistently get more larvae and build more units. Now, not all of his hatcheries here have a queen, so that may mean that he won't be able to get as much larva as he would need. However, he would certainly need that, because as you can see, he has the resources to do that. He can hear me further spying on him. I'm using my orbital command ability to scan through the fog of war and see what's out there waiting for me. Our harvester numbers are very much the same. He knows that I have a 3rd base, so he kind of looks through close to me, so he at all points in time, at all times, knows what's going on. He has 4 bases, but his 4 bases are not fully saturated, which is surprising. 3 out of 4 were not, and in the main was only 12. Now he kind of gangs up all his units here, so in a fight, the way I look at it is that his overlords could tank damage, and he knows I'm on a creep, so he knows I'm pushing out with this force right here, and he has a significant force with 1-1 upgrades versus my force 1-1 upgrades, and they're attacking me from all sides. However, not all of his forces are engaging, and we have a standoff here. I'm sending more and more reinforcements, and it looks like that's the end of this very crucial battle. Now let's go back a little bit. I think I've noticed clearly that in the last engagement, not all of his formations there have successfully fought my army. So he suddenly retreats. Let's look at his camera right here. You see, his army is right there, while maybe 25% or 20% of his forces was already engaging me. Now that's his camera, and he knows it's all over. In this case, he needs to build as many units as possible. And we're going still through the player camera here, and now my forces are denying his resources here. I'm attacking him further. You see, unfortunately, this hatchery was the new hatchery, which is surprising because everybody kind of tends to expand there because it's much easier to defend. However, this player had chosen a hatchery here, his 3rd hatchery, and his 4th hatchery even further off from his main forces. Now here I'm fighting his 2nd garrison, and obviously it just wasn't nearly enough. And this is where it looks really bad, because his buildings are going to be under threat here in the main base. He's building air units to still fight this off. He had even an extra hatchery here for additional units. However, I'm able to blast through this with terrifying efficiency, and his air units did came to save this. However, it clearly just wasn't enough to go against this army. His air units were without upgrades. I myself forgot to upgrade my troops even further. I attacked his overlords here, however it was fine. He moved them away and decided that it's a GG. Certainly that was a good game. I like this game a lot. And let's go to the next one. We'll be playing against a Protoss player, a Protoss race. Players tend to be Protoss in the tournaments because they tend to be playing only one race. So a Protoss player would be a person who plays only Protoss competitively, and other races to just learn things further. So now, first things first, we have to start with this supply depot. After that, it's going to be a refinery and barracks. Probably it's best to use this Pro SUV to build barracks, because barracks can be built only after the first supply depot has been finished, and that's probably so that nobody would ever forget that that's the case. I'm going to send 2 workers here and build some more. Now, how many resources I lose due to this, I don't know, but I hope it's not much. Now I'll be heading towards the orbital command upgrade and a second command center. So for that, first of all, I need to build my orbital command. Here we'll build our second command center, a marine to fight all that aggression out there, and I would like to go for a factory. You don't really need to build a factory. Really, I kind of don't know if that's the best case, because I can just build another barracks, but if you think about it, I don't really need another barracks too, because I'm not going to have enough resources to work this out anyway. So next, I kind of need to focus on the economy, on the supply depots here, and more barracks. So I can suddenly build 2 more barracks. I need a lot more workers. I could have invested that all that money into workers too, however I didn't. Okay, and so far so good. I'll go for the Cyclone this time. So I already have 4 barracks, so that's going to be just enough for the very beginning. And hopefully I'm not going to suffer from early aggression just yet. Okay. Okay. Now these should soon finish. And I need myself a couple of starports here. Oh no, I'm messing up with the keys here. It looks like it wasn't the keys, it was that simply this guy right here simply wasn't meant to build anything else. Now as you can see, I'm building stuff up, but a slight aggression out there would be just enough to kill me off for good right now. Okay, Now let's go on with more refineries, more workers. We need the workers. Oh no! Look at that. He's sending all of his airships here to make my life so difficult. Okay, it looks like there's going to be just barely enough for me to work this out. Now, without the engineering bay, I can't really build myself precious turrets that would otherwise be helping me quite a bit. Okay, now all of these barracks need to pour the troops down. Okay, the turrets need to be built, otherwise I'll suffer losses, and I certainly wouldn't like to go there. Alright, things are looking